Audience. Hey, Brenda, how are you?
I'm doing good, Bobby. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm on the beautiful West Coast and on Vancouver Island, British Columbia, BC. It's beautiful here. I just finished a speaking gig, and now I'm on the road back to visit my mother-in-law. But how's your
Very
week
nice.
been?
Been busy, and we changed the time, and I got my sunglasses on today, and I'll take them off. I'm fresh faced right now, Bobby. I don't have hair and makeup done, and I this is like my little hack when things are just kind of crazy, and you're not feeling camera ready. You put on some sunglasses, and you push through, and you give the audience a show. That's what I'm all about.
And that is why you are amazing, and that's why you're helping so many people. That's awesome. So today is all about again talking. We do monthly here under the Thought Leader Brand Club. Know and grow your audience on your company page. That's what we're talking about. And
Mhm.
I'm traveling, but I'm on a mobile today. But I'm glad we're able to make it work, which is cool. That's the power of technology and the power of mobile, which is great. Um,
Awesome.
let's
Mhm.
get going and start up. Let's just get started with talking about what's exciting you lately about your company page, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah, I always like to start this
We'll do the
discussion, as
credits, right?
Bobby, with what's that? With the credits. You gotta talk about the credits. And it's interesting because LinkedIn recently changed this, and back in like December, I was one of the lucky people that got the 250 invitation credits, and I used them every month because I heard if you didn't use them, you were going to lose them. They weren't going to give them out to you again. So every month I used them, and I think it was in April they rolled out. They stopped, the 250. Everybody went back to 100, and then some people started getting 250 again. But I don't have it, and a couple of my clients do, and it seems like there's really no rhyme or reason to who's getting them and who doesn't, other than I think it's LinkedIn probably testing out, let's try to get maybe some inactive users or less active users using the page credits and see if that hooks them. I don't know. But at any rate, my page for Miller
Sorry,
Marketing,
sorry, you don't have the 250 yet?
I have 100. I had
Oh, that's
250 for
weird.
4 months, and then I used them all every month, and now I'm back to 100 again. So,
What's
here
interesting
we
for
are.
me is that I have like six company pages, and I
Mhm.
checked that two of them had the 250 and the other four did not. What was interesting is my
Yeah.
main company page of 22,000 followers didn't have it. So I went on
Yeah.
the company page site and I complained and I tagged them, and now I have it. So maybe my
Oh, well, so
complaint.
maybe I was it on a post that you complained, like a public post, or on
No,
the page that you
actually,
complained?
I'll tell you where the results happen. I find the
Mhm.
LinkedIn Helper, they're pretty good, but they're even better on Twitter. So when I tweeted it,
Mm.
they messaged me right away. I hashtag customer serve, customer experience, and they messaged
Okay.
me, and I had it very, very quickly. So I
Okay.
now have
Well,
it
I
on my
did
main
have it
page.
before and they took it away, so I think it's intentional, the rollout and the testing of it, and it's okay. I mean, I'll be honest with you, 250 was a lot of credits to issue every month, invitations to issue,
Well,
people to follow
especially
the
because it's
page.
one at a time, right? It's one at a
Right,
time
right.
still.
Yeah. So I'm at 7 out of 100 available. How about you, Bobby? Where are you at?
I'm at 1 out of 250, Brenda. So boom, boom.
Woo-hoo, look at you. Now
Well,
do you
I've been on
hold the
vacation, so I
one
have free time.
to show people how to use that technique? Is that why you're holding the one, or
I hold the one just in case. I don't know why. I
yeah.
just hold the one. I think it's because of you. You told me to, maybe.
Yeah. I like it because if someone says, "How do you issue an invitation credit?" If you don't have any available, you can't show them. So it's an easy way of using, that feature that's on there. So aside from that, I mean, not too much has changed on the page features that I've observed at least, but one thing I would advise for people that are watching is even if LinkedIn's features aren't changing on the pages, your pages should change over time. And one thing I noticed is my page banner, which is that rectangular block that sits behind your company logo. I was promoting a webinar that occurred in April, and I was like, oh shoot, I got to update this. So I've refreshed my header, and I would recommend that you don't just think about that page header as something you kind of set and forget. You want to refresh it, put new messages on there, promote your upcoming events. I might even, now that we're doing this I think we're doing this every once a month, I might promote this event in my page header to drive people to look for our next event. I think we're always, what is it, second Wednesday of the month, and our time changes a little bit, I think.
Second Wednesday of the month. It's usually at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. But
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
was only two. It's only we moved to Tuesday because I'm traveling and going on a bus and at the 2:45. So that's the only
Yeah,
reason.
right? Yeah, and and we're gonna do probably a hard stop here at 2:30 Eastern, right? Because I think you've got to catch the bus at that time, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I was saying it's right over there. But if you have to
Oh,
wait an
okay.
extra
I didn't
five
hear
minutes,
anything
not
you said. I
no,
saw
it's
the camera
muted.
move around.
So, but yeah, I will be okay. Hey, I want to
Yeah.
ask you though. There was another thing in the edit section of the company page where you could actually, I forget what it was. It was to invite people to, I guess, reach out to you for. It was
Lead
like a
gen
sign up,
forms?
the lead
Yeah, the
gen
lead
forms.
gen
Yeah,
forms,
I
yeah.
don't have that yet either.
Yeah, it's been on there for a little bit, and I'll have to admit it's a bit, I think there's a missed opportunity here because there's a lead gen form, not everybody has it, and when you set it up, I have one on my page and nobody has filled it out except me. Like I tried it and that was it. And it doesn't you don't get a notification from LinkedIn when somebody fills out the form. So my concern about this feature is if you do not know, first of all, if you don't know you have access to it, you're not going to be using it. And secondly, if you do get any submissions, you have to go into analytics and look that information up. And if you don't, you're missing out on an opportunity. So I think I don't know, I kind of feel like this is a newer feature. I usually don't tell people about the feature until I've kicked the tires pretty good, figured out what to do, what not to do, and then, I'll kind of post and talk about it. Right now I kind of don't really I'm not overly impressed with it. So we'll see what happens as it rolls out. But yeah, not a lot of people have it yet and not a lot of people know what to do with it yet is my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, my main thing is I always want to have options, so I want the access. So for me,
Yeah.
by the moment that Brenda comes up with her amazing strategy and how to use it, I want to be ready as opposed to not having. Hey, I don't have this thing, and that sucks. So I think
Right.
that's an important piece.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm even it's funny, Bob, because I set it up on my page and I'm on my page. I'm clicked on view as member so I can see what everyone else sees on here. And I can't even find like where do people go to submit an inquiry. I see follow, which is my following button, sign up, which is my website description and the custom button I've set up, and sign up points people to my VIP email list where they can go and sign up. And then the more button, if I click on that, it's unfollow, share in a message, view in Sales Navigator, report a view. So I don't even see a place where I can go into that form and submit an inquiry to so I'm not even sure
okay, that
where
is
it goes yet.
weird.
It's like a
That's
dead
that.
end street. I don't know.
Yeah, and now I was going to suggest you should put in your about section or somewhere in your page. Don't forget to click here if you want to. And but there's no point now because no button.
I don't know where it's at.
That's
I
so
don't
weird.
I'm clicking through, I'm looking at my about section. I did enable there's a new text blocks for you can describe your company and I say remote workplace, and we're 100% remote locations. Everything is there, but I don't see like the place where the lead gen form is collecting information from. So I don't know. I may reach out to one of my counterparts, Michelle J. Raymond. She's a fellow LinkedIn Pages expert, and she might know where it sits because I'm not seeing it. It's not like anywhere that's evident to me. And I mean, like I look at LinkedIn all the time. So if it's not evident to me, it's not going to be quickly understood by the average user
Well,
visiting my page. That's
I think a
concerned.
good place to go is the LinkedIn page business page site on
Group.
LinkedIn because the group there
Yeah.
because I'm
Mhm.
sure people are talking about this and there's gonna be answers there for sure because I often engage in conversations there with people. Michelle's always there too, and so I think that's probably a good place to go for
I
sure.
will do that. Yeah, it's very interesting though, and I think there's a lot of places on LinkedIn where things are kind of tucked below a level. And I was on a conversation with someone yesterday. We were on a LinkedIn Live, and Krista Molian, and we were talking about. Oh no, it was someone else. I'm blanking on her name now. I gotta look her up. Anyways, we were talking about navigating your LinkedIn profile and how to set things up, and someone in the audience said, "Where do I see my list of pending invitations?" And you and I, Bobby, know, you click on my network at the top, but my network, you might think, well, that's like my Rolodex of people I'm already connected with. It's not the place where you go to find invitations from. So I think there's some things on LinkedIn that aren't exactly intuitive. I mean, you and I spend a lot of time here, so we kind of poke around, we figure things out. But I'm always looking from the perspective of a marketer, and I know you're a marketer too, so you can appreciate this. Like, what kind of jumps out at you at surface level? What's the focal point, visual point? And what do you think you should do in here? Then we kind of know because we know this LinkedIn like the back of our own hands, where to go to find these things. But I think sometimes when you get feedback from people on your page, on your profile, you got to take that into consideration. It may not be intuitive. And I love your point, Bobby, of putting instructions in your about section. Do you do that on your company page or on your profile?
On the company page, I haven't done that, but I mean, now that I'm getting myself familiar with the different tools, I mean, obviously, if the lead gen tool doesn't work, then I'm not going to point to it. I mean,
Right.
pointing them to my website to learn more, I think that's there. But I think
Mhm.
it's really important to be clear. What is this page for? And I try to make a clear that my company page is for my coaching and online programs, whereas my main profile is for my speaking and training. That's the
Mhm.
main differentiator between the two. Um, but I want to segue to another topic, which has been on my mind. Um, I have 22,000 followers, and there's been a lot of frustration with, you don't know who's ringing your bell to follow your LinkedIn profile posts.
Yeah.
I can't track the people in my newsletter, and I don't know
Mhm.
who's clicking that. And company page too. Like, to me, right now with 22,000 followers, I shared a personal post yesterday. I just shared a video of this beautiful place that I'm staying at, and because Michelle Ray was
Mhm.
like, yeah, you should do more posts or personal posts. Sure, I'll do more
Yeah,
personal
right.
posts.
Yeah.
Fine. And like the amount of impressions is absolutely dismal, and it reminds me of Facebook. When Facebook business pages, we found out they were sending it to 8% of the people who followed your page. So if you had 100,000 followers,
Wow.
only 8% were getting, and then they moved it to 1 to 2%, and
Right.
now it's below that because they wanted to pay to play. Right now,
Yeah,
people
exactly.
buy ads. So for
Yeah.
me, like, I get very little response to my. I post every day, Monday to Friday,
Mhm.
just once a day.
Mhm.
I get the one yesterday, like, there was literally, and I'm almost embarrassed to say, like, 3 impressions. That's
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
On your page post you're talking about?
on my company page post, yeah,
Wow.
and
Mhm.
that's abysmal, and so I'm really frustrated because I don't know what to do about that. I mean, I have all these followers, and sometimes the post does well, and all of a sudden tons of people there, but
Right.
only if what happens is if one or two people engage in the post, then a bunch of them show up, which is
Right.
great. But if no one does, it is. So I have a mix of these posts that do pretty well and ones that just do abysmal, and I find that really frustrating. So I just want to
Yeah.
get your thoughts on there if you've seen anything like that.
I mean, I've noticed over the past month, and especially in April, I manage pages for multiple clients, and it seems like reach has declined in April. And I was kind of like, is something going on? Is it the Facebook phenomena? Are they kind of like throttling back on reach to try to get more companies to advertise on LinkedIn, perhaps? And I reached out to Michelle Raymond, and I kind of asked the question, and she's talking to some folks at the pages team, and they said, no, that's not what's happening. I mean, whether they believe them or not, I don't know, but I'm kind of seeing what's happening. April doesn't feel like a month that should have lower reach. I mean, June and July, I would say yes. December, I would say yes. But April to me just feels like an anomaly to have lower reach. So what I, generally tell people is your page won't get as much reach as your personal profile, but the traffic that's coming there, the people that are visiting your page, it's highly concentrated, and your page is really a destination. So even if, that particular post, Poppy, you said it got maybe 3 impressions, maybe it just got 3 impressions the first day it was up. Over time, though, as people come to your page and they navigate through your feed, all they are seeing are your posts. They're not seeing a million different posts in the homepage feed, getting shiny object squirrel syndrome where they're kind of being, thrown in a million directions. They're only seeing your posts in there. So for me, I don't mind that it's not getting as much reach because it is highly concentrated. It's people that are genuinely interested in my content. And I look at all of the numbers. I look at impressions, which are eyeballs, which could be readers, people just kind of scrolling through, not interacting. I look at reactions and I look and see who those people are. And if they are not yet connected with me, Brenda Meller, I will invite them to connect if I feel they'd be a good contact. I also look at comments, and every comment gets a reply back from either me, Brenda Meller, or the page Meller Marketing. So that way, when other people come to the page in the future, they'll know the page is active, and they'll know that the page is being monitored. It's not just something that's being scheduled out. So I think there's kind of ebbs and flows with these things. Generally speaking, I like to tell people, if you do have a company page on LinkedIn, you should be posting, at minimum once a month. But if you want to keep it active, a few times a week is even better. Knowing that not every post is going to generate a ton of engagement, trying different techniques, visuals, videos, sliders, polls, even resharing content, sometimes from your personal page, that won't get as much in the analytics, but it actually does get reach on the page, and it does help to tie you, Bobby Umar, to your company page. It helps to kind of create
Yeah.
that brand connection, right?
And of course, obviously, if the people comment, I engage, and people like, that's great. I mean,
Mhm.
I wasn't getting anything. And the other thing to think about too is that, I invited those 250 people at the beginning of the month, And, I had about 20, 30 people accept, and they are
Yeah.
nowhere to be seen. You would think that one of them would see a post, maybe like or comment, nothing. And so I find that to be very, very frustrating. So I'm looking at how do I create engagement. And to date, the only thing that really works from an engagement perspective, like I'm trying personal posts, I'm doing videos, I'm doing
Mhm.
carousels, I'm trying to text, you name it,
Yep.
everything. The only thing that works is polls. If I do a
Yeah.
poll, I'll get maybe 10 to 20 people voting on that poll, which is still low compared to my profile
Absolutely.
page,
Yep.
but it's still something. It's
Mhm.
still,
Well, I'll think
several hundred
too about Bobby,
impressions.
back in the day, we didn't have social media, we only had our website, and the website was kind of the top destination where we had to, like, build everything up and then make sure it was mobile friendly and have forums and pop-ups and all the other and then social media came around, and think about website visits have declined. But it doesn't mean you disable your website and you kill your website completely. You still wanna have that because people will Google you, they'll look you up, or even as they're on social media, they're gonna see what is your website, and they click onto it, especially for you, you work in, this whole brand marketing area. They wanna see that you have brand continuity, that you know what you're doing. So I think it's keeping up with posting over time, understanding you may not get as much reach, but understanding is kind of part of the visibility that you have for yourself and for your business. One other thing, have you tried, Bobby, is like at least once a week, are you tagging in your company page from your personal profile or encouraging people to follow that? Because I've heard you say a couple times you've got 22,000 followers on your page. That's an impressive number. What I try to do at least once a week is at the bottom of my post, I'll say Brenda Meller, and then I'll put in parentheses how many followers I have. Meller Marketing, that number of followers, I think it's like 6,700. And I'll say follow for more LinkedIn strategy tips. So I kind of give them the why along with the link in there. If you do that, you might get more people coming over to your page and giving it a
That's
follow
a great
or
idea,
interacting with your
Brenda.
post.
I haven't actually
Yeah.
tried that. I typically will say, follow me for this type of stuff. Here's how I help organization. But yeah, I think the call out to my company page every once in a while is a pretty good idea. I mean, at this
Yeah.
point, I'm wondering, do I just do a poll every day then for 5 days a week and just start to get people more engaged? Because no, because it's the only thing that gets traction in the last like
Yeah.
2, 3 months. And so the other thing, of course, that I'm segueing to is, I talked to Michelle with this too. I'm really looking at, okay, when I launch my newsletter, it's
Hmm.
going to go to all those people, right? And so that's going to be something like I haven't launched my company page newsletter, but
Hmm.
that when I do launch that, I want to get as many of those people to say yes and click yes to subscribing to my newsletter from the company page, because that to me is a great way just to create more engagement on that page. Because if I can
Sure.
even get if I can even get 5%, which is like basically 1,000 people to subscribe, then that'll turn to a post and they can start engaging, and that might actually really boost engagement too.
Yeah, absolutely. You could try that too. I would say just don't give up hope on it. And there may be people that are watching this video either live right now or in playback. And we'd encourage you to leave your comments below. And when you comment, tag in your company page. We'll take a visit over there. A lot of times, what I do is when I see comments with company pages coming in, I will visit the page, follow it, and then I will also leave a comment on one of the recent posts on the page so you know that people are reading your comment. And like following a page costs me nothing. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't, it's a very little effort that's involved. And I like to show my support. You know me, Bobby, I'm like a big believer in social media karma, helping to pay it forward, helping to improve visibility and engagement for others, knowing that, some of those people are going to click to see me and then come back to my profile. So it kind of the karma element, what goes around comes around. So just don't lose hope. I think it's a necessary space to have. And Bobby, I mean, obviously you're rocking it with 22,000 followers on your page. What you might want to think about, have you ever done a poll asking people what types of content they would like to see or categories of things?
Oh,
Maybe
Brenda,
you're
you know me. I've done lots of polls. I polled everything. I even polled what do you think my newsletter should be called. I definitely polled people. I think. Well,
yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is that that 22,000 grew over a period of about 2 years, and then
Mm-hmm.
it kind of stopped. And so that happened. That happened last year. So last year, for some reason, I wasn't. The engagement just started to like not be there. I noticed
Yeah.
it. I noticed it last spring, last year, and I started and talking about it, and I would show up on your Clubhouse company
Yeah.
page to talk about this, because it was something like, oh, what's going on here? And so it's been going on for a year, and so I'm growing the company page through the invite credits, but the engagement is, yeah, it's pretty hard. The only time the engagement works is if a couple people comment, then you're getting some engagement and things like that. But like I don't want to discourage people. I think the company page has been amazing. It's definitely led to business for me. I think that it's good
Mhm.
to work on it, but we also have to be mindful of how the company pages work, and also call LinkedIn to give us information, the data, the support to help us.
Oh, yeah.
Figure, because the other thing too is like you say you like company pages, which is great, but then
Mhm.
I guess the other question is, do you see notifications that that page has done a post?
Do I see notifications? Every once and again I do. It's not as often as personal profiles, unfortunately. And I think it was Richard Vanderblom published a report. I don't know if it was this week or last week, and he was talking about some of the changes that are occurring with LinkedIn and analytics and the algorithm and etc. And one of the things that he had reported on is in the homepage feed, most people only scroll down to see the first, I don't remember what it was, X number of posts, but if you go down below 30 posts, you'll start to see more page posts on there. And most people just don't go that far. They stop at some certain point.
30
So
posts is a lot to
I don't know. I mean,
scroll.
I'm like, I'm gonna keep scrolling
Wow.
down to see what I see. I mean, it's not gonna change user behavior because you and I are, probably similar to everybody else on the platform. We only scroll so far on the homepage, and then at some point you kind of like cut yourself off, and you're like, okay, now I got to go do the other things I need to do. And typically that is before you start to see some of the company page posts coming up in the homepage. So again, I go back to your page as a destination. Your page really does not get reach in the homepage feed. One way to overcome that is by doing sponsored posts or doing paid advertising on LinkedIn. But general rule of thumb I've heard is don't pay for advertising on LinkedIn unless you're willing to put a significant investment in that. It's not cheap. And unless the products or services that you're selling are in the range of $20 to $40,000 plus. If you're selling a $400 webinar or a $200 course, it's not worth it to pay for advertising. You're throwing money at LinkedIn. You're really not going to get that much reach. And I did advertising in LinkedIn back when I was in corporate, and I've been on kind of the agency side, and I've managed that for organizations as well. I don't like to see people wasting money. I feel like you're going to get more efforts on the personal profile and then making sure that the page is optimized, set up, and active, so that when people do go and visit it, you are making the most of those opportunities as they arise.
Yeah, no, I agree. And let me ask you this: have you
Mhm.
launched a newsletter for your company page?
I have, and I've only published, I think I'm looking at my page right now. I think I've only published one newsletter so far. I'm committing to doing like once a month for both the my personal profile and for my page, but I haven't published more than once in the page yet. So to find it, if you're kind of curious where the newsletters are, if you go to my page, click on posts. Underneath, you'll see categories, all of videos, articles, documents, ads. When you click on articles, the newsletter would sit inside there. It's kind of confusing. I almost wish they had another tab that said newsletter because then you would find the newsletter on there. But I have one that's loaded in there right now.
And curious about the results. I mean, were you able to, like if you have, for example, like when I launched my profile newsletter, I was
Yeah.
capturing 5 to 10% of the. Sorry, there's a truck going by here. 5 to 10% of the people that are among my followers.
Yep.
So, but for the company page, I mean, what kind of capture were you getting
Well,
approximately?
I mean, I'm looking at right now. My page has 6,772 followers, and my newsletter with only one edition so far has 1,798 subscribers. So
Well,
about
that's a
30%.
great number. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a good
Yeah.
number. Okay,
And
that's
I
encouraging.
I wonder for you too on your page, how did you get those followers and were they quality followers who were genuinely interested in the content, or were they people, like, stumbling upon the page? I mean, I kinda wonder about the mix on there too, and, if that might be driving the subscription rate. It's almost like sometimes email newsletters. I've done these LinkedIn live-a-thons for job seekers, and I got a lot of people coming to that because it was a free event, and they subscribed to my email newsletter, and now every time I push out an email from my email database, I get people unsubscribing, and when I look at them, most of those people are the people that came in that really weren't ever going to pay for anything. They just came in for the free content, which is fine. And I'm also okay when they unsubscribe because it helps to clean my list. It's clearing my list out of people.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I'm wondering,
I think
what do
that's
you
a
think of
great
the quality?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. That's definitely happened. But again, in the last year, I've invited 1,000 people who've added to my
Mhm.
my page, and they don't engage. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're seeing the stuff. I don't think it's showing up in their feed. So those to me are the quality connections who are people I know have agreed
Mhm.
to join my page versus the ones that randomly showed up for whatever. So among the 22,000, there should be a bunch of people that are engaged, that are following it. But that's something I got to work on and try to build.
I'm trying to find the page that you said has 22 followers. Which one is that?
That's my. It's called Bobby Umar. It's called Bobby Umar actually. So it's
Okay.
I have two. So my main profile and then my company page.
So I'm on your profile right now, but I'm in your experience section. I don't see Bobby Umar listed there. Is it one of the employers you have listed, or is it just a page by itself?
Oh, I haven't listed it as one of my employers, so that's probably. I
Bobby
know, right?
Umar.
I know, right?
I'm, like, trying to find it from your I mean, I'm trying to find it from your profile, and I'm not finding that's why I'm like, "Am I doing something wrong?" And I'm looking up the other ones. So if I do a search at the top for Bobby Umar, and then I find your page,
You'll see. You'll
that's what
see
I
too.
do you think this could be people who are finding your company page for Bobby Umar thinking it's your profile? Because your profile, you have a lot of followers on there as well, right? What's your follower count on your personal profile right now?
That's around 45,000.
So, I mean, could it be similar, in terms of, like, there's maybe some overlap in there. Do you have Sales Navigator, Bobby?
I do actually.
So there's a way inside Sales Navigator that you can look up to see who the people are that are following your page, and then you can see whether or not you're connected with them. Have you used that feature?
Not yet. But that's a great point. I certainly can
Yeah.
do that. And I think
Yeah.
I have to find a way to add the company page to my profile. I did try once, but I was
Mhm.
not able to do it. But I'll try again. But my page, it's called Bobby Umar Leadership and Development. That's
Yep, I
leadership and
found
development.
it, and I see it's got
Okay.
22,263 followers, but when I click on see all 10 employees on LinkedIn, they're all LinkedIn member. It looks like a bunch of spam accounts or people that are not you. Um,
Oh, I'll have to look into that. It's probably
a
some of
lot
my.
of them are kinda gray
It's probably some.
avatars and
Oh God, it's probably some of my old interns I used to have. But okay,
it could
I'll
be.
have to look at
Yeah.
that. Thanks.
Yeah.
We're at the half an hour. I mean, I could stick around for a couple more minutes, but always great to talk with you about this stuff. And again, if people are watching this, feel free to comment below, share your thoughts, ask questions. Brenda Miller is one of the best people I know on the platform. I really love talking to her, and we appreciate her sharing her expertise for the Thought Leadership Brand Club. So thanks so much for that.
Well, always a pleasure, Bobby, and, like, it's our chance once a month to kinda catch up and chat, so I really value you as a connection and as a friend as well, so thank you for your support, and, yeah, I think I'm good to wrap if you're good to wrap, and we'll get you to your bus,
Well,
and I'll get on the rest of my day.
sure. What's coming up for you? Anything you want to promote or share?
Right now I'm finishing up, I'm doing a social selling masterclass, a 12-week masterclass, and I'm about a week late on getting week 10 content done. So it's only open to my VIP email list community right now. It's in a beta test, and as soon as I finish week 12 launching that, then it'll be open up to the public. But it's focused on really how to use LinkedIn effectively for social selling, focusing on some of the SSI, the social selling index principles. And it's all online on demand. 1 week opens at a time, and there's a monthly group coaching call. So if anyone's interested, just go to mellermarketing.com/subscribe to join my email list. And by the end of the month, I'll be closing that off and then opening it up to the public, and the rate will go up. So excited
That's
about that.
awesome. I'm
How
doing the
about
same
you?
thing. Yeah, I'm doing. I'm starting my TEDx speaker program. It's just
Cool.
a 6 week boot camp plus 6 months of coaching support. It starts this Saturday. I'm super excited about it. We have 9 people in there. It's going to be amazing. It's a pilot, so after that, the price will go up. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the other thing is I'm excited to share the journey I've had here in my speaking, my first in-person speaking gig in 2 years and 3 months. So
Oh,
I'm
cool.
gonna share a bit about. I've been sharing on my Instagram and Facebook stories about what's been going on, but
Mhm.
I'm really excited to share what's been happening and how it's been had a profound experience on for me. So I'm really excited about that. In the meantime, I'm going to
Awesome.
go catch my bus. And thanks, Brenda. Thanks everybody. Comment
Great.
below. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and we'll see you next month, the second Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern on the Thought Leadership Brand Club page, but also streamed to other pages as well. All right. Thanks, Brenda.
Thank you, Bobby.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Take care.